New year, new Miley. We have been warned in a recent tweet from January 1st, 2023. In fact, everything about Miley is new. Every album comes with a new genre and new image. Cyrus has taken us on a trip without a roadmap, no signals or clues. But if you look closer, there is one thing Miley stays religiously loyal to: her feminist quest. Her latest release, Flowers, marks an entirely new era for the artist. At the age of 30, she definitely has a newfound confidence. You can hear it in her voice as she smoothly sings through the track. You can see it in her eyes as she walks around a mansion in the music video. Lately, her presence is less "look at me" and more "here I am." She is a person who doesn't need your approval, because they never thought to ask. Flowers is not just another revenge breakup song, even though it was released on Liam Hemsworth's birthday, and lyrics are clearly personal. The impact this track must have on the culture is broad and important. Solitude has long been marginalized by society. You can hear the imposed shame in the voice of the person speaking about someone being still single. There is not only huge pressure to have a partner, but a set deadline on when to settle down. And like always, the main pressure is on women. In Flowers, Miley glorifies solitude, underlying her self-sustainability as a person. It is her choice being alone, not because she is afraid of relationships, but because she feels way more comfortable with herself than with someone. What we're dealing with here is self-help, and as a pitch for loving yourself first, Flowers' visions of long-stemmed bouquets and long walks on the beach couldn't be more generic. I must mention the glaring, artful music video, which dropped alongside the track. The visual shows Cyrus literally shedding layers, reacclimating herself with her own skin at her own home. The fashion in the video is also stunning. As Vogue described it, Miley Cyrus has a mic drop moment in vintage Yves Saint Laurent. Flowers is clearly a feminist anthem, but Miley's input in the fight against patriarchy started more than a decade earlier. I feel like I'm one of the biggest feminists in the world because I tell women to not be scared of anything, she said to BBC after the release of infamous Bangerz. Her very first feminist manifesto is widely believed to be the Bangerz era, but I can argue it started earlier with Cant Be Tamed. The album was a first step to make it clear Hannah was gone, and this was the Miley we ought to know. It was released right before the final season of Hannah Montana debuted. The edgy album assured listeners her beloved squeaky clean character created by corporate giants was nothing but fiction. Though album wasn't critically acclaimed, and neither had commercial success, it was an important record, celebrating freedom from the claws of male-dominated Disney. It's symbolic that record opens with a Liberty Walk. Miley sings, "Say goodbye to the people who tied you up." Title track Can't Be Tamed includes lyrics as, "I go through guys like money flying out the hands, pretty sexually deliberating for a 17-years-old ex-Disney sweetheart." Album didn't show Miley's huge vocal potential and writing skills, but she was off to a good ideological start. In September 2013, right after calling off engagement to Liam Hemsworth, Miley released the legendary Bangerz, a rebellious record that destroyed any link Miley had with Hannah Montana. The album was commercially successful. Bangerz debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Her Wrecking Ball music video broke Vevo's 24-hour view record, boasting more than 15 million views. Except for giving Miley recognition as an independent artist and a grown woman, the album had big cultural importance. She was doing things other daren't, and saying a massive FU to the standards society holds against women. We mustn't forget, 2013 was a decade ago and the world was pretty different. That was a time when women and men alike threw around words like slut as though it was nothing. As well as the year social media really took off when the Pope joined the Twitter, and gay marriage wasn't even guaranteed by Supreme Court decision in the USA, UK, or Germany. The Bangerz era wasn't only revolutionary but pretty brave as well. By twerking with Robin Thicke at VMAs and riding a hot dog barely naked on her world tour in 2013, she was risking it all. Is she having a mental breakdown? Is she on drugs? Is she coming out as a lesbian? These are just some of the misogynistic headlines from a decade ago. Regardless of the backlash, with Bangerz, she managed to cement her name in the male-dominated industry. She showed the world girls could dare to do it all, rap and do my thing, twerk and smoke weed and we can't stop, and cry your heart out for everyone to see in a vocal masterpiece, Wrecking Ball, showing her strength and vulnerability at the same time. In 2019, Miley released She Is Coming, which successfully blended musical influences from Cyrus' previous releases, critics complimented Cyrus for making some of the best pop songs she has made in years. The album is remarkable by including feminist anthem Mother's Daughter. On it, Miley not only lays down her personal manifesto, but actively seeks to change the status quo, with the main message of the song being "Don't fuck with my freedom." Track is accompanied by a sensational music video directed by Alexander Moore. The video shows her wearing a red latex catsuit, homage to Britney, complete with vagina teeth, as she repeatedly sings the lines "back up, boy," and "oh my god, she got the power," with imagery that celebrates bodies of all ages, shapes, sizes, and abilities. Mother's Daughter is severely inclusive. The video is about the woman's body, the right to own your own body and make it free from the male gaze, in any way, shape, and form. Director Alexander Moore's talking about the music video to Los Angeles Times. However, in a truly depressing turn of events, the song got stuck at number 54 on the Billboard Hot 100 and remains the only single released from She Is Coming. The world, once again, wasn't ready to give Miley the credit she deserved. Cyrus returned in 2020 with Plastic Hearts, a glam rock-inspired album that would make any Hall of Famer proud. Many said Miley finally found the sound she owned. Pitchfork defined the album's greatest success being that, for the first time in a long time, a Miley Cyrus record is music first, headlines second. Finally, she delivers a powerful idea of female domination in the most sophisticated way. The album shows Cyrus in all her unbounded glory, particularly as a vocalist and songwriter. Opener What the Fuck Do I Know succeeds in interpolating scuzzy guitars with peppy production polish. I'm completely naked but I'm Mac and Jit fashion, Cyrus sings, nodding to the music video for Wrecking Ball. The record's Midnight Sky thumps with ADS synth rock panache. Cyrus' gravelly vocal performance is the best of her career. I was born to run. I don't belong to anyone. Oh no, or I don't need to be loved by you, she declares, underlining her self-sufficient nature. Golden G-String addresses the listener with honesty, confessing to being provocative on purpose at times, explaining Miley's motivations in the first verse: I did it all to make you love me and to feel alive. But the main achievement of an album, in my opinion, was not Miley's amazing vocals or deeply emotional writing. First of all, we must admit that Miley didn't start with a blank sheet, but with prior scribbled paper of being daughter of the achy breaky heart guy. It took her enormous effort to become a respected artist, a brand of her own, and she finally managed it with Plastic Hearts. The album is about life as a fiercely independent woman. Miley has found the way to balance pushing her musical boundaries whilst proving she is strong and brave enough to face all the criticism that comes with so much of experimentation. Pretty empowering message for everyone who hasn't found their purpose in the world so demanding of clear pathways and structures. Experiment, she says to all of us. Finally, there is a new album, Endless Summer Vacation, being released on March 10, 2023. What we know so far is that Miley is not done with experimenting. She is not ready to settle for anything. Why should she? This time, instead of stomping through heartbreak to the sound of ADS rock, she's doing something like twangy disco funk, with a sour string section that gives her revenge anthem the faintest hint of flamenco. One thing is clear: Endless Summer will mark a new era for Cyrus, one of healing, renewal, and perhaps a bit of revenge. Subscribe for more culture tea.